Welcome and hello again, my friends. Today we are dealing with Lab 7. We have two questions. Question 1 is about passing the parameters to another function by reference. For question 2, it's about passing the arrays to another function. Before we go too deep on the subject, we should concentrate on the concept of pointers. Before looking at the questions, let's review the code that I wrote in order to understand the topic clearly. Here is the code I wrote. After the lecture ends, please read carefully these comments in the program code. Okay, let's start. Firstly, I defined a variable and equalized it to 5. And then I printed the variable on the screen. Then I printed the reference of the variable onto the screen. Then I printed the reference of the variable. And I printed reference the reference of the variable. We should not forget. This means reference operator. It shows the address of a value, and this asterisk operator means indirection or the reference operator. It shows the content of the address, as known as the reference of the reference. After that, I'll try to use the reference keyword instead of the address keyword. Now I made a definition of PTR, which is a pointer, and the type of it is integer, which is a variable. Now it stores the reference of the integer variable var. Now, in order to concretize it, we are using our little magic key F11. Now I'm pressing the F11 button. Now I'm rearranging the windows. And then let's step one by one. Now I defined var and make it equal to 5. And then let's print var. It printed 5 on the screen. Now print the reference of var. It printed its address or reference. Don't forget, it's the memory address of var. Then let's print the reference of the reference of var. It's not a miracle. It just referenced and dereferenced var. Now, what do we expect after running this line? Reference, the reference, and reference of var. Yes, it just echoes to the reference of var. Now I defined another integer which is responsible for keeping the reference of any variable or constant, which is PTR. Now PTR is equal to the reference of var. Now just let's print the PTR itself. Yeah, it's again showing the reference of variable. What about the reference of the PTR? It is just 5. And what about the reference and reference of the PTR? Just equal to an address. Now let's continue with question 1. We declare the function prototype in order to call it in the lines below. And here is our main function. An integer variable a is equal to 2. And the remaining integer variables a2, a3, and a4. Now we are calling a function that we declared above. What we are pressing, a itself, the reference of a2, the reference of a3, and the reference of a4. And after calling the function, we are just representing the references as pointers. These three are integer type pointers, which stores the references. This reference points to the a square. This reference points to the a cube. I think I made a mistake here. Yes, I corrected it. This function returns nothing. Nothing. However, we are using it. Why? Why did we call it? After we run the program step by step, I hope you will understand. Then let's hit our magical key, F11. Now I am defining the variables. Let's rearrange the windows. Now look closely at the references of the variables. And the values themselves. Now I hit F11 again, and I pass the references of the A2, A3, and A4 to the func. The func function is accepting the variables as integer, pointer, pointer, and pointer. At line 12, it's the referencing of this pointer, and after the reference process, it puts a square to the memory address that was pointed by a2 underscore p. What is a square? Equals to 4. Now it puts 4 to that memory address, and 8 to that memory address, and 16 to that memory address. Okay. A is equal to 2, A2 is equal to 4, A3 is equal to 8, and A4 is equal to 16. We return nothing. However, this function affected these variables. How? By reaching their memory addresses and manipulating them. So we sent one variable and returned 3 variables. And as you can see, the returned variables. Now let's look at the question 2. We are defining an integer, we are defining an integer array, and we are sending the variable and the array and a constant value to the function. This function is doing that operation. A is equal to a square and bi is equal to bai square. After this video, please read the comments carefully. Now I'm pressing the F11 button. Now F11 again. I'm defining the integers and array. I'm sending the arguments. I'm taking the parameters. Now I'm doing this operation. A is equal to 25 and I is equal to 0, and it's doing the multiplication. Now it's just printing the results. Did you notice something in here? We've sent the array and we successfully returned the square of each element, right? However, we could not return the square of variable a. Why? Because this array itself passed to the function by the reference method in a hidden way. So what we have learned until now: you don't return a value passed by its reference, such as arrays and the values having the prefix as reference operator. However, you should return the values which are not referenced. Okay, that's all folks. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next lecture. Goodbye.